Since the inception of the West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination, university requirement has largely called for 5 subjects. Mandatory among these are English language and mathematics. Every year, thousands of students run into the cause of either having to resit for not getting credits on English and mathematics or painfully changing career path owing to same. To help modify this narrative, Star Television presents on your screen Learning Garage, a platform that guarantees better performance in English language and mathematics with a team of experienced teachers. To this solution, you all are invited, especially those facing WASC. Learning Garage comes to you on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Repeat broadcasts are screened on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and on Sundays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Join host Ali Sonta Kamara.
If you mean such element, then of course we'll say the waters of the world in that regard.
And Babatunde Gaira Lamin on these days to make a world of difference.
Fraction that has a numerator which is less than the denominator, we term it as a proper fraction.
Hello there, I am Sonta and this is Learning Garage, the grammar segment. Well, today we are going to continue with verbs. Of course, on Monday we began looking at the component making verbs. Today we are going to proceed. The component making verbs are so many that they cannot be dealt with, in fact, 3 or 4 classes. We will keep on doing them, and of course until we reach the climax. Today we are going to look at the 4 principal parts of verb. The 4 principal parts of verb at that. Meaning, this has to do with the present tense, the past tense, the present participle, the one with the ing, and the past participle. Okay? So these are the components we talk of the 4 principal parts of verb: present tense, past tense, present participle, the one with ing, and the past participle. Okay? So under this pointer, under this segment, under this section, verbs can be regarded as regular or irregular. Remember, under this pointer, not irregular pointer, under this pointer, under this topic, verbs can be regarded as regular or irregular. Regular verbs are verbs that form their past tense and past participle by adding ed or d to the verb. Whereas irregular verbs are verbs that form their past tense and past participle form in some other ways. They don't require ed and a d. They don't require ed and d as you will find also, as you will find for regular verbs, of course. So under this pointer, verbs can be classified into 2, regular and irregular. So let's have a look at the regular forms. So I've of course defined for you what regular and irregular are about. So let's come to regular aspect. So we say we have play, we have played, we have playing, we have played. Remember, we say regular verbs. Regular verbs, of course, form their past and past participle by adding ed or d to the verb. So you see something here that in fact, for the past tense we have ed for played. For the past participle we have the same thing again. So it's what? It means play is what? It's a regular verb. Any verb that can take ed or d for these 2 components, that verb is what? It's a regular verb. Again, we have call. Call past tense, we have here called ed past tense. We have calling present participle, and we have what? Called ed again past participle. See, this aspect, and of course this aspect define what this verb are, and they are what? They are regular. Next we have here bake. Bake, the past tense, we have baked at that. D is added to it in past tense form. Here we have baking, and here we have baked too, the past participle form. You see, so that's the element. We come down to irregular verb. Irregular verbs form their past and past participle in some other ways. They don't require the ed and d to indicate that. Please have this one in mind. They are very, very essential. In fact, experts say the only way to understand, to learn irregular verbs is to commit them to memory. Commit them to memory. Learn them by heart. Don't just, you have to learn them. Learn 300 or 400 of them. Learn them, let them be with you. They are very, very essential. If you don't learn them, then you will see problem. Then you will, of course, blame yourself tomorrow. When you speak, you blame yourself. When you write, you blame yourself. But of course, if you learn them, you follow the lesson until the end, you will see how they are useful, and of course, you will help yourself learn more about them. Okay? So, here you will see we have shine. The past tense being shown. When we say shine, the past tense being shown, we mean light. Okay? The past tense shown. The present participle with ing, of course, shining, we have also shown here. You light that is shown, and here they appear to be the same. Okay? But they don't have ed or d as the regular verb here. They are irregular. Okay? You see again, we have again shine again. When you polish a shoe until it glitters, it looks bright. Okay? That kind of shine, the past tense will be shined. The first shine means light. Okay? The past tense being shown. Like for instance, the sun shone in the horizon yesterday. It's a light kind of. But my father what? My father shined his shoe yesterday. Shined. You see, it's polished the shoe until what? It glitters. Until it looks bright. So the past tense for that shine, doing with polish, is of course shined at that. Shining, we have what again? Shined. You see, they are of course different in this case. They look as if they are regular in this aspect. But of course, I brought them here to indicate the difference. Next, we have here hang. Okay, hang means to hang anything. Okay, the past tense being hung, and we have hanging. We have again hung. Okay, she hung around. That could be past tense. Okay. She has hung the clothes. She has hung the clothes. That could be past participle. Okay. Then we have hang. If somebody is killed, if somebody is sentenced by death, and the death requires that the person be hanged. In that case, the past tense will be hanged. You see, it follows the regular pattern. So here hanged, carrying the ed. And also here we have hanged, and they are irregular here. So I use them here because I want to, of course, show you how they are different. Otherwise, it could be used under regular verb. Okay. So again, we have here sing. The past tense for sing being sang. Next we have singing, and next we have song. You realize that, of course, the difference. There are differences when it comes to sang and also to sung. Typical. So that is why in fact why you have to learn them by heart. Study them by heart, learn them by heart, very, very essential. So we have again here ring, the past tense being rang. Okay, we are ringing, we have here rung, the past participle being rung. The boy has rung the bell as RUNG. Okay? But he rang the bell is always past tense. Now we have grind. Grind means to, of course, create friction upon something until what it comes in a very small particle form, I would say. So we have what? We have grind, the past tense being ground. The past tense for ground is ground, not grounded. Okay? And we have grinding here, and the past participle also being ground at that. So past tense, present tense, we have fly. Past tense, we have flew. And here we have flying. And here we have flown. You see, of course, flown and fly, not the same. We proceed more. We have swim. We have swam. We have swimming. And we have swam. Okay? The boys have swum. The boy swam. The boy have swum. SWM is swam, not swarm. Okay? SWM, not swarm, is swam. Swam. SWAM is swam, like that. So next we have forget. Past tense being forgot. We have forgetting and we have forgot. If you are in Britain, you maintain the forgot. If you're in America, we have forgotten. Okay? America will say forgotten. She has forgotten, okay, her name. But in Britain, they will say he has forgot his name. You see? So the Britain will maintain the forgot as passive form, where the American will change to forgotten to maintain that kind of difference. Now we have light. The past tense, I mean the verb light. I don't mean the thing itself that's regarded as a noun. The past tense for light could be either lit or lighted. Okay? He lit the fire. He lit the fire yesterday. Or he lighted the fire yesterday. Next we have lighting, and here we have again lit or lighted in the past participle form. So we come down to run. The past tense being run, running, and we have what? Run. She has run a race. She has run a race. You do not say she has run a race. She has run a race, for instance. Then we come down to come. The past tense for come being came. Okay. The past tense for come being came. Then we have coming. And we have what? We have come. She has come. 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 Came. Coming. Come. Then we have slide. The past tense for slide is slid. Slid. We have sliding. We have also slid. Okay. Next we have spit. Spit. The past tense for spit being what? Spat. We have spitting or spitting if you are in America. We have also spat for the past participle. So these are just examples. So we have a number of them. We have up to 3 to 4 of them. So I'm advising you to study them. Go and learn them. Experts, in fact, have always given this advice. That to understand, to actually have this one to your grip, you have to learn them by heart. Commit all of them to memory. That's very, very essential. Now note carefully speaking. We use the present participle forms with verb to be. If you, of course, followed me in my Monday edition, you realize I talk about verb to be. They are am, the is, the was, the are, the were, and even been and been at that. So the am, the is, the was, the are, the were, these ones, we call them verb to be. Okay? They attract the ing aspect. He is coming. They are coming. You see? He was coming. They were coming, for instance. So the am, the is, the was, the are attract ing or attract the present participle form. Then, example, you see, the man is running away from justice. Mama is grinding some pepper in the kitchen. You see what happens here? The verb to be in both cases, assist running in the first aspect, assist grinding in the other aspect. Okay, the other thing to note again is that we use forms of verb to have, meaning the have, the has, the had, with what? With the past participle form. So have, has, had, we call them verb to have. So remember, you will say, for instance, she has swum, S-W-M. She has rung the bell, rung, R-U-N-G, not R-A-N-G. R-A-N-G is past tense. So we use forms of verb to have, has, had, and even have been with the past participle form. So we remember for ring, we have ring, present tense. We have rang, R-A-N-G, past tense. We have what? Ringing, present participle, and we have rung, R-A-N-G, past participle. So of course, she has rung the bell. So when you use has, when you use have, have, and having, or even had, what? You must use what? You must use forms. You must use the past participle form of the verb. Example here we have Uncle Musa has flown to London. You see, has actually sit by the verb flown. Actually, the form of verb phrase, if you remember this one in the Monday lesson, that in fact as is helping the verb flown together, they will give us verb phrase. Okay, but whenever you use has or have or having, what do? You require to have to use the past participle form. Next, the boy has run a race. You see, the boy has run a race. Again, run has here is the form, and then run here is in the past participle form. Together, they form a verb phrase where has is helping the main verb run in this case. Okay, but the contention in this lesson has been that we use forms of verb to be, am, is, was, are, were with what? With the ing. Okay, then we use have, had, has, or having with the past participle form. Let that be in your mind, please. So please do not use the present tense and past tense with any helping verb. Do not use present tense and past tense with forms of verb to be or forms of verb to have. Do not, please. So example, imagine we have here Musu has rang the bell this morning. It's wrong totally. Actually, rang is a past tense. So using as with rang is wrong completely. Okay, even if we say Musa has rung the bell this morning, if we use here Musa, we use here wrong, R-U-N-G. If we use here wrong, R-U-N-G, what will happen? The tense will be wrong. But we are not talking about tenses in this class, in this segment of our class. Okay, we are talking about, in fact, how we should not use any helping verb with present tense and past tense. Very, very essential. So adding as is wrong to that context. Now we come to been and been. Been, B-E-I-N-G, and been, B-E-N. These people, of course, sometimes have a problem with them. When you use the B-E-I-N-G, you are to use forms of verb to be. Am, is, was, are, were with been. The B-E-I-N-G. I am being told. I am being informed. That is the B-E-I-N-G. So when you use the is, the was, the am, the are, the were, you are to use B-E-I-N-G. But if you use forms of verb to have, has, had, and if you like even having, you require what? Been. B-E-E-N. He has been doing it. Has been. B-E-N. Has been. So when you use been, B-E-N, you are to what? Use has or have or had or having. Very, very key at that. So now we have what? The suspects are being questioned at that. You see here, are actually is being used what? With been. Because, of course, forms of verb to be are in fact the component to use B-E-I-N-G. Again, his auntie is being investigated. Again, you see here, is standing next to being as being the correct form of verb to use been. You see, we are not talking about tenses yet. We'll come to those one later. Not now, not in this edition. We'll form another edition of that one. We come to BN. So BN takes as, have, had, as I've just told you. So Kadi has been doing the job since yesterday. You see, has sits next to been because it's the correct form to use. See, forms of verb to have are the correct forms to use with ben. Again, we have been together since we were kids. Since we were kids, you see, have is actually have sit next to the correct form being ben. Okay, these people mistake. People actually switch them over. People use, the has, the have, the had with being most times. Okay, so now we come to the next aspect of our class: transitive verbs, T for short, and intransitive verb, IV for short. What are they? Transitive verbs, they are the kind of verbs that allow noun or noun phrase or pronoun after them. For short. meaning they take object. But if in case you have difficulty knowing what is object, it means when any verb we regard as transitive verb is a verb that can allow a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase after it. You see? So a noun phrase is when you have a noun and you have a word or two depending on the noun. A noun phrase is when you have a noun and it's dependent. Example, if I always say if I say, for instance, a very beautiful woman, or a beautiful woman, for instance, a beautiful woman, the a, beautiful, and what? So and the beautiful together what? Depend on the noun woman. So and beautiful with woman, they form a noun phrase, and the head of a noun phrase is always a noun. And among the three words, the most significant word there is woman, because it is what? It is woman, and beautiful, are talking about. So a noun phrase is when you have a noun with a words describing the noun or depending on the noun. So we speak of transitive verb when we have a noun just after the verb, or a pronoun or a noun phrase. That noun or pronoun or noun phrase is called object. So when I say transitive verb takes an object, it means what? It means that it allows noun or pronoun or noun phrase after it. So intransitive verb is the opposite. It does not allow noun or pronoun or noun phrase after it. But you will see ly word after a verb regarded as intransitive. You will see, of course, you will see words denoting, words if you ask where, if you ask when, if you ask how, they will tell you more. So you don't have to have a noun or a pronoun or noun phrase after a verb that you regard as intransitive. Okay? That's what you have to have in mind. So, but you have ly word, you have adverb, you have preposition after them. But for transitive verb, you have a noun, you have a noun phrase, or you have a pronoun. So, example here we have what? James writes poetry. James writes poetry. You see here, for instance, writes could be deemed to be a transitive verb because it takes objects. Poetry is a noun, and if it's a noun, it becomes an object. And if it's an object, it makes what? The verb writes to be what? To be a transitive verb, meaning a verb that allows a noun after it. The child played carefully. Carefully is not a transitive verb because we don't have a noun or pronoun after it. Carefully is a manner adverb. Okay, it's an adverb. To know whether a word is an adverb, try to ask when. If you ask when, if you ask where, if you ask how, if you ask to what extent, if you ask questions, if you ask these questions on any word, if the word answers this question or one of these questions, that word is an adverb. So imagine if I ask how on what? On the verb, the answer will follow carefully. How did the child play? You will say carefully. So carefully is an adverb. So carefully is not a noun. So you see, we regard a verb to be a transitive verb if it allows a noun or pronoun or a noun phrase after it. So of course, carefully here is an adverb. It is what? It is not a noun. So played is not a transitive verb. So everyone in the school cheered the football team. Actually, cheered could be deemed to be a transitive verb, and because it has a noun phrase after it. The key word here being what? Being team. But I told you when we say noun phrase, a noun phrase is supposed to have one or two or three words that depend on the noun or describe the noun. So you realize, of course, that in fact the and football depend on what? Depend on team, because the and football tell us more about the team. So they form a noun phrase. So meaning what? We have an object after cheered. So cheered is what? Cheered is a transitive verb. A transitive verb, meaning it's a verb that allows an object, or a verb that allows a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase after it. Next we have what? We have they went into the room. Went is not a transitive verb. Went is an intransitive verb. Because we have a preposition after it. Okay? We have a preposition after it. Preposition could not be an object. So in fact, from the into down to the room, they make together what we refer to as prepositional phrase. Okay, the preposition is the basic element. The room is the noun phrase. The noun phrase becomes the object of the preposition. Together they give us what? They give us prepositional phrase. So went is not a transitive verb because it does not follow, it does not allow immediately after it a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase. So it is not. Okay? So let's have a look at a troublesome verb pair, lie and lay, using again this issue of transitive verb, object, whatever in this case. So lie and lay, they are again very, very troublesome at that. So lie has two meanings. If you mean to tell an untruth, the past tense for that lie could mean lied. Okay? He lied to me. That was a different case. But if you mean lie, if you mean actually lie to, if you lie could mean to rest or to recline or to be in a place, to rest, to recline or to be in a place, then that lie actually does not take an object, meaning you must not have noun or pronoun or noun phrase after it. If you mean something, I mean to recline, to rest, or something to be in a place, actually that one should not take an object, should not have a noun or pronoun or noun phrase after it. But lay, on the other hand, lay means to put something in a place, to put something, see, to put something. So lay actually requires an object, meaning if you use lay, you must have a noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun after that. So let's look at the verb by following the four principal parts. So now lie, present tense, the past tense for lie, I don't mean if you mean to tell an untruth, it's lied. But here, if you mean to recline, to rest, or to be in a place, the past tense could be lay. And the present participle is lying, and the past participle is what? Is lain. She has lain there. The dog has lain there all along. Lain has lain there. And you see, after lain there, you don't have noun. There is a place. There, there if you ask where. And I told you, if you ask where, if you ask when, if you ask how, if you ask to what extent, the answer you will get is adverbial. And adverbs are not noun. You see? So, the dog has lain there all along, for instance. So, imagine if I ask there, has lain there. After has lain, you have there. And there is what? There is not a noun. Because if you ask where has the dog lain, you say there. And there is what? An adverb. So meaning we don't have a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase after it. Meaning we don't have object after the word. So lie in this context should not what? Should not take object. So we have lay, the component that what? That requires an object. The past tense for lay means to put something in a place is what? Is laid. See? Again we have laying and we have laid as well again. See? She lays my book on the table. She lays my book. After lay, we have what? We have book, my book. It's a noun. My book is a noun phrase because my depends on what book. Together they give a noun phrase. And they come after lays. She lays my book. So we have what? We have an object after the verb lay. So laying and of course laid. So please study this one carefully speaking. If you have pen and book, copy them. If you don't have them, of course, study them carefully speaking. So let's have some example. The printout is lying there next to the computer. The printout is lying there next to the computer. You see, of course, after lying, we have there. There is an adverb. There is not a noun or a pronoun or noun phrase. Because if you ask where, and I told you if you ask where, if you ask when, if you ask how, if you ask to what extent, the answer you get is adverbial. It's adverb in character. So there is an adverb, so meaning what? We don't have there any object. So lying is actually carries no object. Here we have the secretary is laying a copy of the printout next to the computer. You see here, laying actually takes object, copy. or a copy gives you noun phrase, a copy simple noun in this case. So meaning we have a noun or a noun phrase after the verb laying. It takes what? It takes object at that. So you see, try to understand the difference between what is object when they say a verb transitive. It means it allows a noun or pronoun after it. If it's intransitive, it means it lacks that. You may have adverb, you may have preposition, you may have, some other element after the verb itself, but not noun or pronoun. Okay, so we are going for a break. When we come back, we'll look at some past questions regarding the components we have covered.
Since the inception of the West African Senior Secondary School certificate examination, university requirement has largely called for 5 subjects. Mandatory among these are English language and mathematics. Every year, thousands of students run into the cause of either having to resit for not getting credits on English and mathematics or painfully changing career path owing to same. To help modify this narrative, Star Television presents on your screen Learning Garage, a platform that guarantees better performance in English language and mathematics with a team of experienced teachers. To this solution, you all are invited, especially those facing WASC. Learning Garage comes to you on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Repeat broadcasts are screened on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and on Sundays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Join host Ali Sonta Kamara.
If you mean such element, then of course we'll say the waters of the world in that regard.
And Babatunde Gaira Lamin on these days to make a world of difference.
Fraction that has a numerator which is less than the denominator, we term it as a proper fraction.
Welcome back. At the start, the first segment of our class, we looked at the 4 principal parts of verbs. We looked at the regular aspects of verb, the irregular aspects of verb. We looked at transitive verb. We looked at how being should take, of course, am, is, was, are, and were. We look at the ben should go out with has, with had, with having, and with had, and that's it. So we look at again also at a troublesome verb pair, the lie and lay aspect. Well, now let's turn our attention to some past questions. As always, remember we are preparing our students for WAS. Well, again, we are of course helping those who are in college, first year probably, and of course those opting to know more about grammar. Okay, so it's a kind of one-stop shop. So let's now get down to some past question. See, I have your book has dash on the floor all this morning. Your book has dash on the floor all this morning. So June 1999. Well, yeah, we are being tested on the use of lie, or we say lay. But after the dash, we have on. It means that the verb occupying the space, supposed to be intransitive, because just after it we have on, and on is a preposition. So we come down to A. We have lied. Lied means to tell untruth. So A cannot be the answer here at all. Okay, because here it means to recline in this case. So your book has been at a place. Your book has been at a place on the floor, mean at a place all this morning. So lie is wrong. B, we have lain. Well, your book has lain on the floor all this morning. Of course, B is our answer. Remember we say lie. The past tense for lie is lay. Present participle is lying. Past participle is lain. Lain, lain. So B is our answer. C, your book has laid is wrong, because if you use lay, you must have an object after it. You must have a noun or a pronoun here. But this one is a preposition. And D, your book has lay is wrong because of what? Of the verb has. If we use has, we must go for the past participle form of the verb. So our answer is what? Is option C. We come down to the second question. The housemaster asked Ikene whether he had ever dashed the marathon. The housemaster asked Ikene whether he had ever dashed the marathon. June 2002. And then, of course, yeah, we are being tested for past participle form of the verb run. Remember, we have what? We have run present tense, we have run past tense, we have running present participle, we have also run past participle. Very, very. So you see, remember I told you we are to use forms of verb to have with the past participle, meaning the have, the has, the having, the had, with the forms of verb to add with the participle form. So here we are being tested. We are being tested on the participle, the past participle for run, and of course you know it's run. So A is our answer. B, run is wrong. C, running, wrong. Of course, run. So this we don't have to even waste time. If you understand the participle form, I'm sorry. If you understand the participle form of the verb, then of course it becomes very easy for you to understand that in fact we are not to consider run, running, and runs in fact, but of course run is the component to look at as the correct one. So of course A is our answer. So we get into the next one. My friend's car has dashed to a halt. My friend's car has dashed to a halt. Again, we are being tested on the past participle form of the verb grind. G-R-I-N-D, grind at that. June 2004. Okay, remember I told you grind? We say the past tense for grind is ground. Present participle, we have grinding, and the past participle also is ground at that, ground. Okay, so A, my friend's car has A, grinded. Grinded is not only wrong, but grinded is not in English. There is no word in English as grinded. It's non-standard. We don't have grinded. Okay, so also like you say delayance, you say traffic, they are not words in English. So grinded is not a word in English. B, we have grounded. Grounded is wrong because when you say grounded, you have two meanings. It means if you have a very, very bad weather, flights are not allowed to fly, you will say, of course, all the flights are being grounded. That could be one meaning. The other meaning for grounded could mean when you are being punished. When a child is being punished, is being kept at home, not to go anywhere, we say the child is being grounded, meaning it's being, of course, kept, in one place. So for of course, don't think is the past tense of grind. So again, next we have what? We have ground, correct? Because the past participle for grind is ground. So of course, C is our answer. Okay, we have grind. Grind cannot be the answer. Why? Because we have has here. If we use has, what? We must go for the past participle form. We proceed. The athletics captain asked me whether I had ever dashed the 100 meters. The athletics captain asked me whether I had ever dashed the 100 meters. November 2011. Again here we are being asked the same thing back. We are being asked about the past participle form of the verb run. And remember, now is run, because say runs here. Why run? Why A is wrong? A is wrong because we have what? We have had here. And when we use had or has or having, or even we must what? We must consider the past participle form. So of course runs is wrong. B, running, of course, the case. If we use running, what do we require? We require am, is, was, are, and were. Okay, so B is wrong. C is wrong because we say we must not use any helping verb with the past tense or the present tense. So of course, had here is a helping verb. So using had with run is wrong. So our answer is what? Is option D. Okay, because the past participle for run is run again. So that's it. Next question. The cook should have dashed the pepper and tomatoes together. The cook should have dashed the pepper and tomatoes together. June 2010. And remember, again, we are being tested on the past participle form of the verb grind. You know now, of course, grind. The past tense for grind is ground. Past participle form is also ground. So, of course, because we have here have, we say when we use have or has had, what should we use? We must what? We must go for the past participle form. So, of course, A is the correct answer. B, we have grind is wrong. So, we come next one. The cook should have dashed the pepper and tomatoes together. June 2010. Remember, I in fact have outlined the area. Ground, we are being tested on the past participle form for grind. And you know is of course ground at that. And if that's the case, A is our answer. B is wrong. Why? Because of the verb have. We say we use have, has, had, and having with forms of the past participle. So grind is present tense. How could we use have with it? Is wrong. So C, grinds is of course present tense. And this one is a third person singular. So we are not to use, of course, have with them. And D, grounded. I've given the meaning of grounded. Okay. So the answer is option A. Next question. Your mobile phone has dashed 10 times in the last hour. Your mobile phone has dashed 10 times in the last hour. June 2006. Again, we are being tested on the past participle form of the verb ring. Ring, R-I-N-G, ring. Remember, we have ring present tense, we have rang past tense, we have ringing present participle, we have rung, R-U-N-G, past participle form. Again, so the use of as gives us the impression that what? We should what? Consider the past participle form of what? Of ring. So as rang is wrong because rang is past tense. B as wrong is correct. Option C is our answer. And of course, has been ringing 10 times in the last, it's very, very wrong. Your mobile phone has been ringing 10 times is wrong. Why? 10 times cannot go with what? With, of course, been ringing. So it's wrong. D, been ringing is wrong. You know what? Of course, we cannot use as with B-E-I-N-G. We say what? We have to use what? Has with B-E-E-N. So, of course, D is wrong for that reason. So, option C is our answer. We get down to the next question. The beans have not been properly dashed. The beans have not been properly dashed. June 2018. That's just last year. Again here, we are being tested on the past participle form of the verb grind. Indeed, we are being tested on the past participle form of the verb grind. Indication being the verb have. Okay, the beans have not been properly what? You know, of course, is of course ground. We have looked at a number of questions. You see how like repeats questions. You see, so A is wrong. You know, of course, B again is wrong. C is our answer, and of course D is very, very wrong. I've given you the meaning of D, grounded, of course. We come down to Sunny dash on a banana peel and fell down. Again, last year. Sunny dash on a banana peel and fell down. You see, we are being tested on the past tense, on what should be the past tense for the verb slide. The past tense for the verb slide is, of course, slid. Of course, A is our answer. Sunny slid on a banana peel and fell down. So why do we use slid here? For a number of reasons. Why? Because, of course, the verb here, the verb in the other aspect of this same sentence, fell, is in past tense. We call this one sequence of tense. If this one would have been in present tense, Sunny dash on a banana peel and what? And falls down, then of course, best option would have been the option slide, containing S. Sunny slides on a banana peel and fell down and falls down. But the verb fell is in past tense, So the verb coming here after sound is supposed to be in past tense. So meaning we are being tested on what should be the past tense for the verb slide. So it's of course slid. Okay, sequence of tense. So we come down to another question. We have here, yesterday I dashed on the beach for half an hour. Yesterday I dashed on the beach for half an hour. Here we are being tested on whether I should be lie or lay. I mean, which of them? So because again we have here, because of the preposition on, it means here the verb coming should be intransitive. It should be one that does not take object. We say a transitive verb is one that allows a noun or pronoun or noun phrase after it. So because we have on here, on is a preposition. Preposition is not an object by itself. Okay, so we are to, of course, so I learn. No, we will only use learn if we have has, or if we have I mean having or had, or in that case. So A is out, B past tense. I lay, B is our answer. I lay on the beach for half an hour is correct. I lay on the beach. Yesterday tells you it's the past tense, so we must consider the past form of the verb lie. So it's lay, and of course lie. We are talking about past tense here. Is of course after the case. Be lied. We are not telling an untruth here. We mean something being somewhere else. So of course our answer is B. Well, so far so good. This is how we will bring down the curtain for today's grammar garage. Grammar garage, I would say, this aspect of learning garage, grammar aspect. And then we will of course proceed with verb. There are so many to look at. We will continue looking at them, and next week we'll proceed on with a number of other interesting elements dealing with verb. Until next week, I have been your presenter, Sonta Tata.
Since the inception of the West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination, university requirement has largely called for 5 subjects. Mandatory among these are English language and mathematics. Every year, thousands of students run into the cause of either having to resit for not getting credits on English and mathematics, or painfully changing career path owing to same. To help modify this narrative, Star Television presents on your screen Learning Garage, a platform that guarantees better performance in English language and mathematics with a team of experienced teachers. To this solution, you all are invited, especially those facing WASC. Learning Garage comes to you on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Repeat broadcasts are screened on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and on Sundays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Join host Ali Sonta Kamara.
If you mean such element, then of course we'll say the waters of the world in that regard.
And Babatunde Gaira Lamin on these days to make a world of difference.
Action that has a numerator which is less than the denominator, we term it as a proper fraction.